Was the pressure on, Danny, on Tottenham going in at the weekend against Villa? They got the result they wanted. They got a win. I was hearing when I was away last week that there was a bunch of Spurs fans who wanted a meeting with Daniel Levy and were given short shrift. That right, Simon?
Yes.
They wanted to sit down, chat. A number
concerned
of them
about the direction the club was going in, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so they didn't get a meeting, and you could probably have told them that before they tried, Simon, because Daniel probably wasn't going to afford them that.
Well, no, if every owner or chairman or chief exec had a meeting with the fans every time they wanted one, he'd be doing nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's ludicrous to think that, well, because a group of supporters suggesting they want to meet, they go, okay, they'll have to meet. Then they're sitting 4 points off the top. Okay, they got spanked by Arsenal, and that's disastrous in terms of the pride, if you like, but 4 points off the top. The Harry Kane situation's resolved. He's staying. He always starts slowly. He'll start scoring more. Yes, the performances in the last few weeks haven't been great, but he's been in there 5 minutes, the manager. Yeah. Give him a chance to instill his message and his tactics and his... It takes good managers. I always think good managers take a while to implement their philosophy. It's easy to go in and change something really quickly, like a formation and go like, we're going to play long balls, get some results, or we're going to be really energetic and get an initial reaction. But actually, when you're trying to work on a philosophy, it takes a bit of time. I've always found the best managers take a bit of time because
tell Watford that.
Well, yeah, but it's repetitiveness.
But you've repeatedly advanced the notion that this manager is pragmatic.
Yes.
So that's going to fly in the face.
I know that.
Of what Tottenham fans. So when he's building his philosophy, they're putting their marker down that this is a philosophy. Whether he takes a week to develop it or 6 months to develop it, they don't quite fancy it.
Who, the fans?
Well, I'm suggesting if we follow your narrative that this is a pragmatic style of football that he wants to play, that's not what Tottenham fans would like to see.
It's not what
whether that's right or wrong.
Yeah.
So they're going to be putting, and I certainly don't think it's right for them to be getting in front of it now. And it's a byproduct of what's happened during the summer and the expectations of what fans think they're able to do and how they believe, to some extent, inaccurately, that they stopped the ESL.
And is this the bunch of fans you're talking about, Simon, from last week who wanted the meeting about the direction of the club?
I think this is a bunch of fans that jumped on the situation surrounding the ESL clubs that all put together charters, but their charter was as long as the Magna Carta. Their charter was a list of things that the club will absolutely unequivocally do, and it was a little bit ahead of itself. Fans have, of course, they have the right to be able to express their views. Yeah. But it just seemed, if the media reporting was right, that to be suggesting they want to have a meeting with Daniel Levy or whoever they wanted to have a meeting with to be able to impress upon them their views of the direction of travel after 6 games was like, whoa, hold on a minute. The Tottenham board will know that they're not happy with the lack of expenditure, they're not happy with the team's performance last year, and so on and so forth. But you surely cannot be advocating some sort of dialogue between the ownership about the manager 6 games into the season.
No, and what my point is, even though I believe he is a pragmatic manager, and I believe that will become what you see with Spurs, more harder to beat and well organised, even if the fans don't want to see that, they can't guess at what he's going to be. They've just got to let him be for now, and then make your judgment. They're not... I might jump in as a pundit, but as fans jumping in, you can't jump in 7 games in when you're sitting 4 points off top.
That being said, they do have some. You have to look at Tottenham's snatching of defeat from the jaws of victory over the last 3 or 4 years. Here's a team that was in the Champions League final that perhaps could have won a league, and no disrespect to Leicester, and could have won a cup, and they've won none of it.
That's right.
So here we are now. It's 3 years ago. Daniel Levy's running the best club in the country with the highest turnover and the highest profit, with the best young players, with the England captain, with everything, with the best wage bill, and a new stadium that no one's ever seen the like of. All of a sudden, everything that was shiny looks dull. Yeah. And everything that was aspirational looks pedestrian. Yeah. So you can understand, to some extent, the fans going,
where are we going?
Where are we going with this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yesterday, a small minority of fans staged a Daniel Levy Enoch out protest, banners and signs, etc., etc. But that, we all know, Simon, that can grow. Something like that can grow. Yeah. That can grow. I mean, would a fan protest like that end up? Is there any chance of it having the desired effect?
No.
What is the desired effect?
Change the board.
Change the
board.
No.
I mean,
never say never in football.
No, but who's going to write a cheque out for Tottenham for Joe Lewis to suggest that he will be walk out the door? Someone wants to pay £2.5 billion for Tottenham. Maybe they will, but there's no one going to be queuing for that particular opportunity right now.
They are an attractive club to buy.
They're a great club in lots of ways. Well, in a lot more than lots of ways. They're a great club.
Yeah.
But the idea that you're going to shout Daniel out, first of all, he has the hide of a rhino. Second of all, his job is to build Tottenham back into a level of competitivity that they're currently not at. And third of all right, fans, noise is important, but sometimes the right noise. If you start crying wolf all the time, every single time you don't like something, people will end up just calling you Peter.
There's one thing for sure with the Tottenham faithful is they'll turn up in there, they'll fill the stadium and support that team even when they're frustrated. They're a brilliant set of supporters. And ironically, we talk about Daniel. I think I've said this before on the show. I've actually seen his softer side. He is human. He is. He has got a brain. He's a nice guy, and he's trying to do the right thing. He's just made some. I mean, it's not all his decisions, but some of the recruitment's been poor.
But there's an element of the Tottenham support, Danny, that is frustrated that they're not winning anything and haven't done so for a long time. I mean,
as many other supporters.
One of the signs read profit before glory. Now, I mean, they want to win something. You go out this door today at the news building where we are in London, ask any Tottenham fan. My God, we need to win.
They made
something.
a rod for their own. They made a rod for their own back as well, because you've put yourself over a level of success where you're knocking on the door and the door needs to be opened, and then you pull back, and you bring Mourinho in that was either gonna fly or die, right? And it died on the vine because Mourinho wasn't the right fit. None of us felt that this marriage made in hell between Daniel and him was ever going to blossom, and it didn't blossom. It got to the point where you took him out before a cup final. That's how bad it got. Whether that's because they didn't want to pay bonuses or whatever the mentality of it was, right on the eve of a cup final, it's unheard of. You take a manager out. That's a disarray that they're in. Nuno Espirito Santo was put into a mix of managers. Jim said to me, out of 5 managers earlier on in the season, which one would you pick? I picked Nuno Espirito Santo because the level of people that we were talking about wasn't that high. Tottenham fans will look at it and go, he wasn't good enough for Wolves, or he ran out of legs at Wolves. Why is he good enough for us to be putting ourselves back amongst the top 6, top 4? We're not going in that direction. We're going in a different direction, seemingly.
So should the Tottenham, should the hierarchy, the Tottenham board, should Daniel Levy be in any way concerned about this small showing of a flurry of protest?
No, I think you pay attention to things and you don't let things get out of control. But ultimately, his job is to enable Nuno Espirito Santo to be successful, whether that's in the last transfer window or the next one. But Daniel doesn't make public statements. Daniel does not talk to the media at any particular time.
I like that. I don't.
And I think that's
ownership.
right. No, I think there are times when you need to and times when you don't. You can't just adopt a policy of one size fits all. It's blanket stonewall.
No, but you can put out a statement.
He picks his moment, Simon, doesn't he?
Sure.
He picks his moment. When he got what he wanted from Real Madrid from Modric, Daniel quietly stopped the car on the way out of
that's transactional
the old
based.
White Hart Lane and decided to have a chat.
Also allows a narrative to build up when they rightfully, I suggested, put up a stance saying, well, hang on, why can't we furlough? Every other business can furlough. Why can't we furlough? The football world went, hang on a second, Tottenham and Liverpool, 2 of the biggest clubs in the world, you're furloughing players or staff. How dare you? It's embarrassing. Daniel needed to explain his reasons, but he didn't want to. So it builds up this narrative, which is Tottenham ain't got any money. Tottenham are nitpicking. Tottenham are holding all their money together. They even want to furlough staff. And that's where the narrative builds up. Tottenham are involved in the ESL. They're out, and it starts to build up as an insidious creeping in of what Levy's all about.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.